This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Bienvenidas al podcast Dos Bold Latinas. Aquí están sus hosts, Jatna Abreu
y Josibel Madera Vialet, dos latinas feministas born en Santo Domingo y en New York.
Passionate about Latina empowerment, Spanglish,
learning, growth, and so much more. Hola, hola mujeres. Espero que se encuentren muy bien, escuchándonos nuevamente. Yo me quedo pensando a veces, wow, ya llevamos 8 meses en este proyecto de pasión en la cual está muy cerca del corazón mío de Jatna. Todavía yo no me lo creo, pero aquí estamos, especialmente gracias a ustedes. Y por eso me pregunto, ¿cuántas veces ustedes han reflexionado lo afortunadas que somos de vivir en este siglo como mujer? Y aún así, seguimos luchando por la igualdad y derechos de las mujeres. Hoy quiero resaltar que solo hace 32 años atrás, una mujer para poder sacar un préstamo en el banco, un requisito era tener un cosigner masculino. Yes, 32 years ago, a woman to get a loan at the bank needed a male cosigner, such as a husband or a relative. So, una mujer necesita un cosigner, ser su esposo o un familiar. Lo estoy repitiendo en 2 lenguajes porque todavía para mí es like
super shocking.
Yes. So, the Women's Business Ownership Act was passed in 1988. Eliminated all individual state laws that required women to have a male relative, husband, or cosigner to sign a business loan, along with other established women programs. So with all that said, we must embrace our talents to start inspiring each other and generations to come to keep making a difference as empowering women. Así que, have you ever imagined yourself having a side hustle? I remember growing up listening to my tías talk about how they always were stay-at-home moms or wives. However, they all had their own gigs at home, from jewelry makers, hacían cerámicas, cosían y mucho más. So, las mujeres, todas tenemos nuestros talentos o pasiones en la cual podemos iniciar proyectos para inspirar otras mujeres. En los tiempos que vivimos ahora, la mayoría de las mujeres trabajan fuera de la casa y desarrollan su side hustle, o como me gusta decir, lo que es Dos Latinas, passion projects, un proyecto de pasión.
And I love that you mentioned that, Rosie, about, the Women's Act, Ownership Act, like passing in 1988, because having to have someone, like as a woman, having to have someone or like an actual man, to go with you to the bank to co-sign a loan that you wanted to take out for whatever reason, whether it be entrepreneurship or whatever it is you wanted to do. To me, so shocking. And I think we have to be thankful of like other women who have given us the, who have paved the way for us to be able to get to where we are today, where we can do our own things, being independent, taking our own loans, being able to, work maybe a 9-to-5, but also have like a side thing where we're also getting money, or sometimes we're just doing it because we want to help other women or empower others.
Yes, yes.
So, otra cosa que yo quiero resaltar que es importante es recordarle a las mujeres que we don't have to choose if we want to have a steady job, whether you love it or not, obviously, like whether you're just making money to meet, ends meet, whatever, for your house, and to pay your bills and things like that. I don't think we have to be forced to have to choose whether or not we want to work the 9-to-5 or whether we want to have a side hustle. I think it's important to know that you can do both. Like, you can work your 9 to 5. And I know there's a lot of people that do have passion for what they do. Like, at least I love what I do, like developing other people. At my organization where I develop leaders and employees, to be able to, get their work done better and get better skills. Like, I really love developing other people. But I also like the idea to be able to do, those Latinas, where we are, empowering other women, and we are sharing, kind of our experiences, where we bring sometimes those women that are experts in certain areas, and they can share their expertise with you guys. Like, we just love being able to empower you guys and let you understand and learn more about those things that, maybe we have experienced that we don't want you to experience, because we've already done that. And so you don't have to do the same mistake. But also, just being able to build this community, and at the same time be able to have like our own jobs, which I think I love, doing both.
Yes, I say it keeps me alive. It keeps me motivated. And to me personally, Dos Latinas has increased my self-confidence. It's like it changed my mindset. I never thought, if anyone that's listening that knows me from when I was younger, I was this super shy girl, and now is astonishing that for my job in the corporate world, which I also very much enjoy because I work with entrepreneurs, I stand in stadiums in front of hundreds of people. Cuando yo crecí debajo de la falda de mami, como dicen. and now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm using this platform now to speak and to make women feel comfortable with themselves and to empower them. And that's something I grew up not having. And now I have the privilege to do that with so many women out there. And that's why when we say side hustle, passion project, that we can do it, is when we find that passion, when we find that when something that we love, other people also need it.
Yeah. And I also want to say that, like, even though, because I know a lot of women out there will probably be like, well, having a 9 to 5 and also having a side hustle, it's very stressful or very hard to do. And I do get that, trust me. But at the end of the day, like, when you do it, if you really do have a passion for something, like, you will find a way to get it done. Like, you will find the time. And yes, at times it may be stressful, but I think at the end of the day, when you see the results of what you've put together or what you've created, it makes you feel like, so accomplished, I want to say. So I know if you're thinking that, it's hard for you to have your, your own passion project or your own side hustle, and you might not be able to do it. Sometimes you may not be able to do it alone. But like for me and Rosie, like, we found each other and we connected with each other. And so we rely on each other. So I feel for me, it's not stressful. Like, yeah, sometimes it could be like, oh, that's a lot of work. But I do want to give back to the community. I do want to give back to other women. But I do have help. I do have Rosie. I do have support. So even if you have to maybe find your tribe or someone that supports you share the same, the same ideas, the same determinations, the same passion, like, you can do it together. Like, you don't always have to do it alone, because these are things that, when you meet with other women, when you connect with other women, when you create things with other women, good things come to life. And so that's what happened to us. So again, you don't have to do it alone. You can always find that drive and, and then just share that common passion and, get to work.
Yeah, you complement each other. There's accountability. When you put those all-nighters, it's once you have that passion behind it, because as a mom, having a corporate job and me growing up around entrepreneurs, so my family have a small business, which I still am involved in to some sort. It's like, oh my gosh, like, when am I going to do this? So even if I pull an all-nighter to make it happen, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, yo me trasnoché anoche, because I was trying to figure out what content we're going to have for this episode. And no, because it brings life to us. So yes.
With that, we're going to actually talk about some factors that contribute to, having a side hustle. So I would say factores positivos, como lo puso Rosy aquí, de cosas que te van a ayudar, que son cosas que cuando tú tienes ese side hustle, cuando tú tienes ese passion project, que tú tienes esa esa adrenalina, esa
drive.
that you want, esa drive that you want to get something done. There's some things here that we're gonna let you know that, like, for sure, are facts that will actually help in understanding, like, oh, does it make sense for me to have a passion project or a side hustle? So, Rosie, you can take it over with the first one.
Thank you. So I listed this first because to me, I see a side hustle passion project. You could treat it as self-care. Especially us as moms. Like, I'm speaking now like in first person. But this does apply to any woman out there. Because when you're doing something like that you love, you can spend endless hours and you don't feel the hours flew by. By then, to me, that counts as self-care. When you're doing something that you enjoy. Since during that time, you go through self-affirmations, like, you could do this. Damn, Hilsi, you just did that. Or look at you, Jatna, badass. So all of that. And then you just feel your soul doing something that you love. For example, if you create a piece of art or you're writing anything that you do that you love and will say, like I just said, damn, I cannot believe I just did that. Like, I'm standing right here in Jana's office and I'm looking at a puzzle she did from Frida. And it's like, I'm sure she was like at the beginning, I cannot believe I just did this puzzle. And I know there's women out there that create like 3,000 pieces puzzles and they sell them. And that's a side hustle. That's a passion project. Passion projects, even if you're making money with it or not. But I'm sure those women, they disconnect, they are in their zone, and they just feel all of that self-fulfillment, self-satisfaction after building that.
And I think, Rosie, when you say, like, treat it as self-care, for us specifically with Dos Bo Latinas, when we get together to record, such as today, like, we usually get together and talk for hours before we even start recording. And then when we're done recording, then we can talk for a lot more hours. So you can see that for us, this is more than just a passion project. For us, like, again, we do take it as self-care because this is the time that we take to, connect with each other, talk about, like our dreams, our ambitions, the things we want to do with this podcast, where we want to take it in the future, the things we want to embrace, as like women of color, the things that, we haven't been able to do because of a lot of fears or just things that we just don't, think we can do. But when we get together, we're like, oh my gosh, we can do this. We can, we, at some point next year, we can do this, we can do that. And so, things like that for us, at least, is basically self-care, because it's the time that we take for the two of us to, yes, bring you guys content, but also bring ourselves to, connect and talk about like our future and just, this, how do you call it? Like, the two of us just distressing or whatever, So that's kind of how we see it.
Each other's sounding boards, as we say it.
Yes. So the second thing that we see as a positive thing when you do have a passion project or side hustle is that it helps you stay true to yourself. So when you do something that actually comes from your heart and from, your characteristic and the person that you are, and it might be something that is related to your previous experience and that you're just looking to give back and you're looking to empower other women. Like, when you do things like this, where you take that project or that passion and you share it with other people, just because it's something that we've always wanted to do, and that's just who we are as a person. And empowering other women, at least for us, I know for Rosie and I, is something that, is something we have in common and that we always want to do to empower other women.
Yes, and when Jana's saying helps you stay true to yourself, that I hold that very truly to my heart, because I always grew up being the shy girl. I never thought I would be a fun person. I could never be myself around people, and then people would think I was stuck up, but I really wasn't. I was just literally scared to talk to people. And now in this project, I am amazed of how many women I could relate to. So sometimes simply us sharing some content on the social media accounts, like I have noticed many of us look up to women wanting to be like them. However, surprisingly, when we find out, we always have wanted to be like each other. Como yo le digo a Jana, I'm like, Jana, I never thought I was going to be cool enough to be your friend. And she didn't believe me. But it's like that. Like we just need to really stay true to ourselves and don't worry about que puso fulanita allí o en qué etapa de su vida está ella. As long as what you're doing comes out from your heart and it's 100% you, because you'll be amazed of how many women you're going to empower by you just showing that true self of you. So talking a little bit of going on to a next positive factor, which I love, and it's building a community. I always see once you belong to a community, we all always want to be a part of something, right? So in high school, we grew up and we were in different clubs or we were in different sports. We always were involved in some type of activity. And that's a community. So sometimes we're part of a church group or we're part of, for example, I mentioned MLM because for the corporate I work with is that. So that comes to mind a lot. And I see that, like I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they're part of certain MLMs to be a part of that community, and they're building their side hustles. They are they're just progressing to be a better person because you're around positive people and you're around people that you can relate to. So coming back to women in general, when you offer services or a product, you will gather women to connect with common interests, which help you build up on each other. So, for example, when you start a nonprofit or for-profit organization to help different women's needs. So if you're into domestic violence, how about you build a community for that? If you're into just making pottery, how about you build a community just for a certain niche of women? So it's just finding a small niche and building that community. And it could just be 10 people. Like I am the true believer is cuando tú estás impactando una persona of what you're doing, your project, that's enough.
Roses, you want to talk about what MLM means? Because maybe not a lot of people will understand.
Well, that's multi-level marketing. I don't want to name. There's a lot of out there, yeah, because there's many. But I know there are so many.
I know that, like, Rosie and I know a lot of women that listen to us.
Yes.
That do multi-level marketing. Mm-hmm. So they work for companies that we're not going to mention here, but they do work for companies that where they have other people with them, trying to sell a specific product in that level of, multi-level marketing. So if that's your passion, where you want to sell products and things like that empower other women, making beauty stuff where it's making you look prettier or better, or even like your hair products, to help you with your hair and get it in a shape or way or that you want it to look like, so it's healthy and things like that. So there's a lot of multi-level marketing organizations that and focus on women empowerment and things like that we know a lot of women that do that, that you can do. So just do your research. Like if you're really interested in things like that, you can, even if you go to Google and like find and just search for like multi-level marketing companies, you'll see a ton of companies, and you'll see if there's something that you're interested in. Like I can guarantee you can contact someone. You can go to the website, you can contact someone, and they will connect you with a person that can help you if you want to get into like that type of business.
Yes. Yep. So and again, that's not for everyone. And that's for those women that are still trying to figure out what services to provide, or if they haven't came up with a specific product on their own. I see that as that. And also, like, since Jana said, we know we have friends in common that are in them. And sometimes when I tell them, like, at the end of the day, yes, you're there to make money, but I've seen a lot of women just how much they have grown in them because of that, because of the community you're in. So again, when I say build your community, you'll see how much you build up on each other. Like right now, Dos Bo Latinas, yes, I see it as a community. You guys are our niche. And in the past 8 months, I would have never thought of how the messages that Jana and I get on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram of women that always thought like, oh my gosh, I never thought that they would listen to this or they had this common interest. And I'm just amazed of how it is.
And, with that, we just mentioned that it's something that you can do to empower other women, which is true. So with that, we just want to make sure that you know that whatever it is you decide to do or whatever it is that you're interested in or your passion, you best believe that if it is catered for mainly women or even, male or anybody else, I can guarantee you that you're still empowering other women. By the fact that you did it, you have that side hustle and you decided to create that and put in the efforts and the energy and create those products or whatever it is that you're into, there's going to be someone looking up to you and trying to get advice and trying to find them, look at you as a mentor so they can also maybe do the same thing or just for, actual motivation or, so they can continue to, their days because with those Latinas for us is more of like, again, experiences and making sure you guys don't make the same experiences. But we also want to motivate you, empower you to do the things you want to do. So the same thing we're doing, I'm pretty sure that if you were to do your own thing, whatever that may be, you will be empowering other women as well.
Yes, lead by example. Actions, they speak more than words.
Agreed. Next one, that is dinero. So the moolah, the shmoney, as we call it, or as Cardi B calls it. It's, if you have your own side hustle, your own passion project or whatever it may be, it could maybe start as a passion project. So again, for us, those Latinas pretty much started as a passion project. And as of right now, it still is a passion project. But we do have the, determination of making it a for-profit type of, side hustle. So we are working a lot into making it that way and getting a sponsorship. So again, you can start it as a passion project, but then it's going to turn into an actual, giving you money, like you're going to get extra money, which at the end of the day will give you your own way of, because you're making it with your own hands, you're empowering other women, but again, you're also getting financial freedom out of it, which is our next point that Rosie will talk about.
Yes. Like Jana said, I always think of this in Spanish because my mom will always say, una mujer siempre tiene que hacer su chelito.
Eso es cierto.
And when it comes to that, it's like, yes. Y más cuando uno lo hace con nuestras propias manos y saber que vas a resaltar el autoestima de una mujer, eso sí es girl power. And on top of that, making money from it,
it's like
the
icing on the cake.
Yes, financial freedom. And also for a lot of us women, sometimes we feel stuck in a relationship and we may not have a income stream. But let's start thinking about what you're good at. Let's start thinking about how can you start small. And I know that's the hardest thing to do is starting. But trust me, once you start, paths will start opening. And once you write down those goals, the universe will work for you. It's amazing. It really does work. We hear that like, oh, write down your goals and the universe will work for you. It will, because that's on your mind. That's what you're thinking about. That's what you're talking about to other people. And you get ideas from other people. So yes, start making those, start making those products or offering those services where you can inspire to make a difference doing something that matters to you and another woman, and that will bring out the best version of yourself. Overall, like I said, to me, making yourself more confident, another woman more confident. So to go back to financial stability and flexibility, as you guys see, I get passionate about that. Como yo quiero dejar saber of how important it is that all of us women, we have some type of talent. I always grew up like, yo no tengo un talento. So for those of you that know me, I'm always trying to figure out what's other women's talents to help them develop it. Because that, I feel like that has been my talent, is finding and realizing what other people are good at to bring the best out of themselves. And I'm always like, girl, I'm always telling Jana, like, hey, did you know you could create an online course? Because I'm like, she does that at her job. I'm like, can you imagine just having an income stream from that? So cuando yo digo financial stability and flexibility, if you decide to turn your passion into income, then you will have the freedom to design your life with limitless dreams to fulfill, since you become fearless, powerful, prideful, independent, empowering, confident. All the positivity will help you stay focused without wasting time. So I know a lot of us see out there YouTubers and just people just building their lives, and they're saying, I'm building the life that I designed for. And that's where it comes. They decided that they're gonna, something that they're passionate for, they're gonna stick to it. It's not gonna be easy, porque si todo en la vida fuera fácil, todos lo hiciéramos.
Eso sí es cierto.
But like I said, once you stay focused and you find that passion, you will just take it and run with it.
So with that, since we gave you all the facts and, positive things that would, kind of help you maybe realize that you do have your own passion and that you may be able to do your own thing and have a side hustle, we wanted to share with you a few ideas, even if you don't have an idea right now of like, okay, what is something that I'm passionate about? What is something that I do want to do? Whether it be a passion thing or just, like actually to have some income, to get some income. Here are some things that we did some research on and are the most trending things right now of women or, anybody who wants to have a side hustle, that they could do for extra, on the side, or even, as a regular job, if they just want to get, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you still want to get some, money on the side. These are some things that we found and did some research and are the most like trending thing right now. But do know that there's a lot more other things out there that you can do. All you have to do is, do a search on Google for, ideas on side hustles, and you'll find a ton of different things that, you are able to do. But with that, we're going to give you just some ideas. And so one of the first ones, one of the things we found was that did you know you could write resumes? So you can actually create, someone that has a resume that might not look as good or as pretty or as eye-catching, or, it's not doing the job when they get when they go to apply for other jobs or postings out there. You can actually, if you're good at that stuff, you can actually get paid to write other people's resumes. So all you have to do is, do your research, go online, see how you can set up your own account and how people can contact you online, and, just have them reach out to you. Even like if you create something, via Facebook or Instagram where you promote it and say like, hey, I do write resumes and I'm really good at that, and letting your friends know, and that your friends will let other friends know. It's something that you could do if you're really good at that, because a lot of people do need help with the resume. So it's a good way to earn money. And I have seen people make, at least, because I'm not as great as writing my own resume. So I have actually reached out to other people to do that for me. And I know that, some of the people I know charge up to $100 to write someone's resume. So cha-ching, that's where the money's at.
Yes. And I didn't realize of how much you can make with that. And I've had other people write my resumes, but I didn't know that was, considered a side hustle. Mm-hmm. And the next one I want to mention is cleaning services. I know not all of us love to clean, pero como hispana, Latina, Dominicana, I know a lot of women out there that cleaning is their self-care. If they're mad, they clean. So, so if you have that passion of cleaning, hey, you could make a little extra income that way, because you're making someone else's life easier. That is a need for everyone. There is a niche out there for that. And it's just making it professional. And everything that we're going to mention here is making it professional, making it once you start doing your ads on social media that you have these services, is things that relate to your personality.
Agreed. The other thing that we also found that a lot of people do nowadays for money or extra income is driving someone else to an appointment. So I've seen women or even, just other people take elderly, so other people that are unable to actually drive themselves to like an appointment. They actually, do that for them, where they take them to the appointment, they wait for them, and once they're done, then they drive them back to their house. So doing that actually, gives you money. And not only, and we didn't add it on here, but since we're talking about driving, I'm sure that a lot of you know that like Lyft and Uber is something that they're always looking for people to, drive other people places. So if you are into, have your own car and you want to drive other people places, and you want to, you get to, I believe what I've heard is that you get to create your own hours when you want to, drive other people, when you are actually available to drive other people places. You log in and you make sure that they know that you're available. And then that's how you get assigned to, go and drive someone somewhere. So again, Uber and Lyft are a place that you can also, get extra income from.
Yes, indeed. And that flexibility, which is what I love about it. Mm-hmm. Our side hustles. So blogging or creating YouTube tutorials. For us mamas, don't all of our kids want to be a blogger or YouTuber when they grow up? Because I know my niece and my son, they all have YouTube channels. And when you say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a YouTuber.
That seems to be the trending thing for kids now.
Yes, indeed. But hey, if you are passionate about something and you know that you're good at it and you get complimented all the time and people are asking you all the time, how did you do that? Oh my gosh. And then they just recommend you to other people. Why not start a blog? Why not start creating those videos? It doesn't have to be professional, top notch. Just start, and you'll start, and you're in that community, you'll get ideas. Other people will help you. Other people will give you ideas. Like I said, it's just starting it. But you'll be amazed of how many people you can help out there. At the end of the day, once you're doing something from the heart, wanting to help others, it'll come into place.
The other thing is Airbnb hosting. So if you're someone that travels a lot and you're never really home as much, or you have an extra space in your home that maybe like a basement that you can, rent out to someone or just host someone, it's something that you can do for extra money. And, they do pay very well if you keep the place, like in top conditions. When someone is coming in from another place and they're vacationing or whatever, they want to stay places. And, what better thing for you to do if you have an extra space where you can host, people, and they can pay you for that.
Yes. Another one is pet caretaking. I'm not a pet lover personally, but for those pet lovers that I know, yo digo, pero tú cuidas más ese perro que a tu hija. So if you are a pet lover and you got that extra time and you're just passionate about certain pets, become a caretaker. There's people that have to go on vacation sometimes for work travel and they can't take their pets. And it's like for us mamas that we can't find daycare, that is stressful and you can't sleep and you're like, oh, what am I going to do? It's the same thing for pet owners. So open up that stream if it's for you.
The other thing is tutoring. So now with the pandemic and the fact that a lot of kids are doing virtual school, and their parents are also still, a lot of people I know a lot of people are already back to work, but there's also a lot of other people that are still working from home. And at the same time, they have to take care of their kids and make sure that they're teaching, and they're also teachers at home, homeschooling per se. I've seen a lot of people online looking for tutors. So looking for tutors for the time frame that the parents are actually working in the home, and the time that the kids are actually, doing the virtual learning. So you've come into, the person's house for a few hours a week, and then you tutor the kid and helping them a little more with the whole virtual learning thing, just because we know that it's a lot harder for parents that are working from home to be able to also help their kids. So right now, again, I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook of people looking for tutors. So it's a good time to get that extra money if you are good at, tutoring and teaching others something else.
Yes, indeed. And then for those high schoolers also, you got some of them like sitting around. They all don't have enough to do. Have them be a tutor.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
But another one that I love is teaching a class. It can be fitness, cooking, beauty, nail tech, anything that you're good at, that you're passionate about. And this is like a plus. If you sell a product, why don't you have a teaching class of how to use that product, how to apply it? So if you are selling fitness supplements, a pre-workout or a post-workout, why don't you have a class teaching your routine of what you eat throughout the day? Mm-hmm. And then also you're selling your products. So besides that, building your brand, you're selling those products. It's like win-win right there for me. If you sell makeup products, or if you once you start teaching classes, you could potentially start making your own makeup products also. So I'm just letting you know that there are so many, the dream and the income is limited. It's unlimited. I was thinking in Spanish. Es ilimitado.
Yeah.
El límite está en tus manos.
El límite está en tus mente también.
Yes.
The other thing, and Rosie did mention this too when she said, teach a class for fitness or cooking. It's also like if you make things, handmade stuff, products, there's websites como Etsy or like even Amazon or eBay. There's a bunch of websites that you can actually sell those products that you make. Like if you look at Etsy, you can see that there's a ton of different businesses out there. So people that actually create, t-shirts, and they make, even like the masks right now, people are making it like now that it's relatable to the pandemic. I know that there's a lot of businesses out there, like people that are really good at making masks, that they're making like really cool masks, like out of all these different type of materials and fabrics, and they look so bomb that they're able to sell it for like $20. I mean, I don't know that I would pay $20 for a mask, but
if you had that need, you would, though.
If I did,
that special need, and that's the niche there.
Exactly. And so you can put you can sell it for whatever price, but the thing is that if you make things, you can take a website such as Etsy and you can sell your product there, and that's extra income right there.
Yes. If you're a graphic designer, like for my daughter's first year birthday party, everyone thought I knew how to design and decorate. But thanks to Etsy, I paid $15 for some templates on there. And I just went and printed everything from the gift boxes to the table, los manteles, the what is it called? The placemats, the invitations, the thank you, like everything. And I even had wrappers for the water bottles.
Wow.
Like I was like all out. And I was like,
you're being that extra mom.
So I was just like, oh my gosh, thanks to Etsy, I found the beautiful design that I wanted. And it was from a woman out in the UK that she was selling this on Etsy. So besides, when we talk about niche, the power of the internet, girl, you have no idea of how many people you could reach now.
And then the other things is, running errands for other people or being a personal shopper. There's a lot of people out there that are still do need other people to do their stuff for them, especially now with the pandemic. I know there's a lot of people that are not looking at going out and, getting their own things done, like grocery shopping or whatever it is. You can get paid to be a personal shopper and run other people's errands, to buy their groceries and things like that. So don't miss on that opportunity because it's something that gets you money.
Yes, and talking about pandemic and different patterns we've been adapting now is selling your old books, electronics, clothes. There are so many apps out there now that you can sell all the things that you have in your home. So start looking at those. Right, it's like, how things go out of trend and they come back. So I'm sure you have many things in your house that are back in trend or certain topics, if it's books, that you could sell out there. Or if it's electronics, it could be a classic for many people. So we all know our eBays and there's a lot more other platforms that you could also do that. And I know if you're into fashion design, if you have some clothes and you just want to give it a little uplift of the design of the clothes that you have, you can also do that.
And then also, as we talked about, Rosie talked about pet caretaking, you can also be a babysitter. So a lot of people do need babysitters nowadays, and also a house sitter. So if people go on vacation, they also sometimes don't want to leave their house alone, so they ask other people to come in and take care of the house, and they pay for that. So extra money there.
And the last we want to mention, again, there's many, but we had to cut this list short. It's interior decorating. I could, you probably think oh no, a lot of people just decorate their homes. No, they don't. To me, I could go to the store and tell you what I like, but I have no idea of where I want it inside my house. So interior decorating, even if it's now that we're working from home and you are building your own office, like Jana, she's building this bomb ass office, guys. But anyways, it's you would feel I see that as a self-care thing. If you choose one part of your home that you want a professional to go in there and to decorate it for you, you're thinking of that, right? So if anyone I'm finding a niche for you, ladies. So if you're an interior decorator, designer, start looking for those people that are working from home, and you can say, I want to, let's design this area for you in your home that you could just sit there and relax and disconnect for the day. So I was just giving there a little idea of how to start, because sometimes we think oh my gosh, no, I could be an interior decorator, I have to work at this big company or at a como se dice, the store when you buy your furniture store, all of that. And no, you can start with people now in their own homes. I know I like to have, por ejemplo, la sala, which not always is recogida, but I like it to keep it that way, because I know there's at least that place in my house that's not gonna have toys, and I like to. I had my aunt help me decorate it a couple years ago because she's into interior decorator. So sorry, I got a little bit passionate into that, but I just want to let you know, como que there's so many things you could do with your talents, mujeres.
Yes. And you don't have to, and that one thing I wanted to add on interior decorating is that you don't have to be a professional. You don't have to have a degree. If you're already good at it just because that's a gift you have, just, why not charge for it and go into other people's houses and decorate it for them so that you can get that extra money. And you don't really have to go to school for that, because I know a lot of people that are really good at decorating and they're not that's not their profession.
Pinterest is their school.
Pretty much. So
their inspiration.
So that's a plug. Pinterest is really good for you for any type of stuff you're looking to do, even tutorials or things like that. So if you're into, again, anything like that and you want to put it up on Pinterest, I think they have a sponsorship too for that. So if you do your research, you can also partner with them and get your stuff out there on Pinterest.
Yes. Even having Pinterest boards is a side hustle, ladies. I just found that out not too long ago.
Wow, look at that. I just learned that.
Yes. So
that.
Yes, I'm just thinking. So ladies, what are your talents and passions? I hope I have woken up something, una chispa, a spark in you today. So las mujeres todas tenemos nuestros talentos, pasiones en la cual podemos elaborar, iniciando proyectos para inspirar a otras mujeres, ¿verdad? So, yo soy creyente de esto, es con que solo inspires a una mujer, ya sembraste tu granito. Nosotras como dos volatinos, como escucharon, somos un ejemplo de un proyecto de pasión, en la cual pronto llegará a generar ingresos, porque yes, we may want to do things, but it's more important to get it right than the timing. So yes, ladies, when you're developing something, you have all these ideas, but make sure you do it right, because sometimes the when you doing it right is a lot better than the timing. So you can service and give your audience the best services that you can. Así que ahora está en ti comenzar. Don't worry about having everything organized. Just start today. Yes, that's the hardest thing, is starting. And once you start,
everything comes into place.
Yes, and you have that commitment and accountability. Also.
So before we let you go, girls, we wanted to talk to you about next month and the fact that it's Hispanic Heritage Month. And of course, because we are Dos Por Latinas, we won't let it just, go by and not do something for, to ensure and embrace our Latino, ¿cómo se dice? Latinidad or something. I don't even know how to say it. But like be Latina. And the fact that we're so, we want to embrace it and we're so proud of it. And so we want to make sure that, you don't miss this. But every day of the month of September, to celebrate that, we are going to add a quote of either a famous woman, in history that is going to be Latina, in history that has done something very important, or non-famous woman, because it's not just the famous women that can get the credit, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that we're recognizing other women from the community that have said something or have empowered someone else or other women. And we want to make sure we recognize those women. So we will be making a post every single day in the month of September of quotes of Latina women that will motivate you through the month of September. So look out for that. We will be making our first post on September 1st and our last post on September 30th. So we hope that you enjoy it and that you love it, and let us know how, if you like it, and then we'll probably package all of the quotes for you guys in a PDF, and then you guys can have it and download it and print it out and have it in your desk, your office, whatever it is you want to do with it.
Your screensaver on your phone.
Agreed.
So yes, mujeres, yo voy a decir, like yo dejo una tarea. So take a pen and paper or open up your notes on your phone. There's this term that I learned 2 weeks ago, John, I shared it with you.
Yes.
And it's called Ikigai. I'm going to spell it out. It's Ikigai. So it's a Japanese word. So in Japan, millions of people have Ikigai. And it means a reason to jump out of bed every morning. I know for me, it's hard to get up. It's dreading to get up in bed. I am not a morning person. But for you to help you start discovering that reason to jump out of bed each morning, besides, of course, your loving family and everything you love now. But I'm sure there's a lot more out there that could bring you more to life. So there are these 4 primary elements. And this number 1, I want you to think about what you love. That's your passion. So write that down. Number 2, what does the world need right now? How can you impact the world? How can you give back? So that's your mission. Number 3, what are you good at? What's your vocation? ¿Cuál es tu vocación? And number 4, I would like you to write down, what can you get paid for? So that's your profession. So with that said, discovering your own Ikigai is said to bring fulfillment, happiness, and makes you live longer. So, ¿cuántas no queremos todo eso?
Yes. So with that, thank you so much, ladies, for joining el episodio de agosto, del mes de agosto. Esperamos que les guste y la vemos en la próxima.
Yes.
Bye.
Ciao.